It was late at night, and us, like everybody else at that time, around the 29th and 30th of May, which was the height of the riots at that time, we were pretty much glued to the screen, especially since our son was there and serving. We were just appalled, and we couldn't believe what we were watching, that this was in America and it was in our own state.
The symbolism of a building cannot outweigh the importance of life, of our officers or the public. We could not risk serious injury to anyone. Brick and mortar is not as important as life.
Suddenly I heard her calling for me, and she was on the floor. She had collapsed, and I had to call the ambulance at that point. But I think everybody remembers what the situation was like during those particular days. It wasn't long after that, the hospital, the doctor at the hospital called me on my phone and explained her concern, her worry, that this could be very, very serious, and that Lynette could slip into paralysis. And they said, we're going to airlift her there so she can get there in minutes because she doesn't have much time. But they discovered that the aircraft were grounded. They were restricted from being able to fly into the Twin Cities. And she needed to be there, like I said, within minutes. So then they told me they were going to put her in a ground ambulance and try to take her there by ground. But I think everybody remembers what the situation was like during those particular days, that nobody could travel or go anywhere. And the ambulance driver was up against an incredible obstacles to try to get her to the hospital, and she did not get there in the time that she needed, and she became paralyzed. By the time she got there, she was paralyzed.
You will not see that tonight. There will be no lack of leadership, and there will be no lack of response on the table.
But as we watch that, there are no National Guards members here. There is no form of first responders here on the ground in this part of Minneapolis.
They weren't able to come through because the leadership in our state just allowed this chaos and violence and mayhem just to go on and on, hour after hour, day after day, to just go on unchecked, totally unchecked. She was denied access. My wife, who served 22 years in the Army and then went on to serve another 15 years to veterans, now it was her turn, and she was denied access to that medical care because of our leadership here in this state that couldn't do something or wouldn't do something about the situation that was ongoing. Who does that? What kind of leader does that? This woman is like the nicest woman that ever walked this earth, and she's done nothing all her entire life but help other people. She has helped thousands of veterans. She is definitely a soldier. I know she's not in the Army anymore, but I don't know if I or most people could be going through what she's doing, because just suddenly overnight you're dancing one moment and you're paralyzed from here down, and you're looking at that as being your future.
You tell me not to think too fast, but I will go the distance for you.